how you doing? Look, today the Collie's getting a new toy. Well, fingers crossed anyway. I'm here with Jeremy from Direction Plus, and we're looking to install the PreLine filter into the Collie. We're going to have a few fun and games with that because the Collie does have the air compressor for the airbags installed where you'd normally install this. So hence I've got Jeremy here, keyboard warrior here with no mechanical experience, has employed Jeremy for the day.
Hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So thanks for your help. Well, I'm saying that now, but obviously that might change.
Yeah, you might retract that later.
So we got a couple of challenges, but the concept, we want to install the PreLine. The benefits of this is obviously in regards to fuel management. So getting out any contaminants before it gets into the engine to do any harm. It's got the water alarm as well.
Yep.
So that's going to trigger off if there's any water in the fuel to give me at least some warning right before again it gets into the system.
Correct.
Awesome. So that's why I'm going down this way. And it doesn't matter if you're thinking about doing this because you do remote travel. It could just be your everyday run around that you use going to and from work. These things here, in my opinion, hence why I'm finally doing it, is a great investment for a small price.
Yeah, it's cheap insurance.
Absolutely. So anyway, that's enough from me. Let's get stuck into it. So all of your fuel managers and PreLines do come with installment information, self-installment, but I had a few hurdles here, hence why I got Jeremy on the case, and we're trying to work within the same area that it's designed to go into. Just keeps it simple for everything that we've got there, obviously apart from the fact that the air compressor's there. So we're working it in, we're doing up some additional bracketry here. Hopefully that will do the trick, so we can angle the compressor just slightly off from where it was originally mounted and then fit the PreLine in. There's brake lines there we don't want to be messing around with, so hence we're just trying to keep it nice and tidy and neat and nothing near those lines.
So day 2, guys, we've already installed the pre-filter, mounting brackets, and we've jigged up a mounting for your compressor for your airbags.
Yep.
So we'll take you over and we'll have a look at that in a second, show you the install. So what we're going to do now is we're going to run the fuel lines and connect all that up for it.
Wicked. Nothing else. That simple?
That's it.
Beautiful. Let's get cracking.
We'll do. you go, Heath. All installed for you. Got your compressor there, and we've got the PreLine on for you.
Excellent, mate. Fantastic. So a little bit of fiddling around that initial mounting bracket. We had, I'll say, a few little...
There, you're a pain in my backside.
Just trying to get that mounted, because the compressor, where it initially was in the perfect spot for where these are designed to go in this model. So Jeremy was good enough to modify a bracket for us, fit them both in the same spot, so I don't have to worry about moving any lines or anything like that.
Yep.
And so that was the most painful part, and then after that, running the fuel line was pretty simple, right?
Yeah. Yeah, normally the fuel line's the easiest job of all of it. It's just putting it in the place or finding a home for it is generally the hardest thing, and that's why it takes so long to develop brackets for these applications, is because you want something which is going to obviously last the life of the vehicle, not vibrate. So if you're going over corrugations or whatever, it's not going to fall apart. It's not going to tear your inner guards apart. It's properly supported. Yep. So there's a little bit of design work that goes in behind them. It's not as easy as just going, oh, there's a hole, let's go stick something in it.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And so the benefit of the PreLine filter over the fuel manager?
So basically the difference between the fuel manager and the PreLine is the PreLine is based on much newer technology. So when the PreLine was designed, it was designed with common rail engines in mind, which is obviously the ones which suffer the most from water contamination. The old inline style diesel engines, fuel pumps, they can handle a little bit more water. Generally they just run really rough, or they don't run at all, and then you can flush the system out and then go again. With common rail, if you get water in there, because the pressures are so high, it just does all sorts of wonderful damage to them.
Gotcha.
So obviously the PreLine was designed with common rail engines in mind, so therefore the technology that it's based on is much newer. So therefore obviously it's kind of like going from the old Kingswood to a brand new Commodore. You get obviously your Bluetooth and your cruise control and all the rest of it, whereas you didn't get that with the old Kingswood. Same concept with Fuel Manager as opposed to PreLine.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. And so one we've installed here, the main thing for me I wanted to target was water separation.
Yep.
Make sure it doesn't obviously get into the engine bay. That's what we've gone for here. There's other options, right, where if you're more worried about contaminants?
Yep. So at the end of the day, it depends what the customer is ultimately trying to accomplish.
Yep.
Whether they want water separation, protect the fuel system against water contamination, or they're after the best possible particle contamination. So we're of the philosophy the OE fuel system or fuel filter is designed to remove whatever particles it needs to protect the OE fuel system. So what we're trying to do is remove the water out of that. So the customer or the end user needs to ask themselves, what are they trying to accomplish? Because the thing is, people get tied up in micron ratings as opposed to what they're trying to accomplish. With water separation and particle separation, they're inversely proportional to each other. So if you have really good particle separation, you generally won't have very good water separation, or water separation will suffer. If you have really good water separation, your particle separation suffers. So they're inversely proportional to each other, which is why we use a 30 micron and it's a pre-filter. So that's that. The customer just needs to ask themselves, well, what are they trying to accomplish? Are they more concerned about dirt, or are they concerned about water?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
No, for sure. And so the setup that we've gone for here, from what I've learned from you, big fella, is that coming from the fuel tank, we have the fuel line into the PreLine.
Yep.
And then the outlet out of here running back into the standard fuel filter. So then it then goes through the standard hoses and connections all the way into the engine.
Correct. So we're not really fiddling anything too seriously with the OE fuel system. It's pretty much from the factory filter to the engine is all standard. Yep. You just simply put an extra filter in there designed to remove the water out of the fuel.
So I'm not going to have any fuel, I was going to say fuel loss, wrong word. I'm not going to have any power loss through lack of fuel getting in, because it's just filtering it before it gets to the traditional original pump, right?
Yeah, correct. And obviously because it's a 30 micron filter, it's not a 10 or a 5 or a 2 or whatever, the fuel restriction is so minimal, it's not even going to bother.
Yep.
as far as power loss, because some people, if the fuel filter doesn't flow enough, or they have a final filter for particle separation, it can cause fuel deprivation to the engine, and then obviously they will notice that when they go overtaking or towing or whatever, there's just simply not enough fuel there for the engine to use.
Yep, gotcha. Excellent.
So there you go.
So basically, in a wrap, you as the end user have to work out what's your main focus, whether it be contamination, filtration, or water separation. For me, water separation was definitely my key focus for here. So pretty simple. Ask yourself that question, then work out which unit will fit your car and go from there.
Yep.
Big fella, thank you for all your hard work, mate.
No, thanks for letting us.
Doing nothing.
Thanks for letting us use your car. A little bit of an experiment for us.
Good fun.
But got there in the end.
So there it is, guys. Hopefully you learned something from this. I know I did. That I'm a keyboard warrior and I'll never be a mechanic. Thanks, big man.
No problems. Thanks, Heath.